Hello everybody, John Abella from hikelighter.com, and I just had the brand new Vargo ExoTi50 show up at my house about 45 minutes ago. Have it completely loaded up. As you can see, it's a little bit overstuffed, and I did that on purpose because I want to see how the compression straps are going to do. It's been one of the questions that people have been asking about, is how well will these side compression straps actually work? And especially given that this particular side compression strap is actually part of the lid, or the brain, however you want to call that. Over here I have the original Vargo TI Arc. Sorry for my finger in the way. That is the original Vargo backpack, and that is obviously the non-Cuban fiber version, and have put many miles on that backpack. Underneath it I have a MSR Freelight 2 strapped onto the frame, and that is the unique part of the Vargo TI Arc, is that the bottom section is designed to allow you to strap something on it as such, which obviously makes the volume of the backpack smaller, but that's okay because, you know, when you put gear outside, it's just as equal amount of volume. So, want to do a walk around on the Vargo ExoTi50 so that everybody can see it. I believe this is going to be the very first look on the internet, other than the official Vargo video, of the backpack. Just so you know, I'm not going to unload it because the only thing that's in there are sleeping quilts. I have 3 or 4 quilts in there, a big puffy jacket, and it's just in there to give it volume during the video. So we obviously have these orange straps here, and they go down and attach to right there, the bottom of the pack. There's been questions on whether or not the bottom of the pack is reinforced with some extra fabric. It does not appear to have any harder, tougher, more durable fabric on the bottom. It seems to be the same as the pack itself. So these straps here are actually some rubberized, something rubber, I don't know what it is, but they're rubbery. And let's see, so the lid straps come down to actually onto the bag itself, so they're not attached to the titanium frame. By the way, just real quickly to address this issue, this was probably the biggest complaint that I had of the previous generation, was these poles stick up here, as well as on the bottom they go that way. And that's been a major complaint because when you have as much ultralight fabric as what I do, whether it's jackets, tarps, tents, that kind of stuff, that's high dollar fabric, you don't want things like this that might catch your gear and rip it. So they have whacked those off, and then on the bottom they have whacked them off on the bottom as well. And just real quick to reference the old version, I shouldn't say the old version, the TI Arc, they actually curled it underneath so that if you have something that's strapped here, it would rest up against that if you needed it to. So the frame is completely void of any sharp points, which very good. I'll get to the harness strap in a second. So yeah, the lid compression strap is attached to the side of the bag, not the frame. And I do apologize for any shakiness. I'm obviously hand holding this. All right, now that That definitely sucked in the sides. You know, the sides were blossoming out, blooming out a fair amount. So that did take care of it. It did pull the lid forward, but that's okay because it looks like it's actually designed to be pulled forward because of the angle of the zipper here. That's just a guess on my part. All right, now let's look at. There we go. This pack is stuffed really tight, so I'm having to give this pretty good jerks here. Probably more than what I would ever do, but so yeah, there's there it is, all compressed down. Did seem to have ballooned out a little bit over here, so let me. Wow, that it's probably not visible via this video, but trust me, that actually worked. And interestingly, the so the lid, turn this around here, the lid actually has compression straps or tighteners, fasteners, hardware on the back so that you can cinch this down even further. You might have just seen that pull down there. And those aren't the load lifters. The load lifters are this second strap here. The lid, let's go ahead and open the lid. I have not actually opened the lid. By the way, here is the there you go, for those of you that wanted to see it. By the way, all of the hardware on here is super durable. There's they definitely went the route of we're going to make it tough and not necessarily light, but tough. So the lid seems to be pretty much just this area right here. You could definitely press it in some, but this is not like, I couldn't get I might be able to get a lightweight jacket in here, but I would not be able to get a midweight, and midweight or above jacket would not fit in there. Could definitely get a number of, you know, like definitely, you know, your breakfast, lunch, that kind of stuff would fit in here. A couple of bars. Let's see. It's actually a double draw zipper. Pull on each side. Hang on. Okay, so let's look at the harness real quick. So the harness itself attaches to the frame, and this we've already seen in the Vargo video that they released a couple days ago. The harness attaches, so there's the top, and the strap here comes through and attaches up here to the little cross beam, and same on the other side. And then this second strap here, as I mentioned earlier, is okay, just forgot. Let's see. So coming down onto the actual harness, standard U-shape. It is not S-shaped. I have not talked to Vargo yet to see if they're going to offer an S-shaped one. Hopefully they are. I've made it no secret over the years that as a man I do prefer S-shaped straps, but such as it is. It is a straight cut. There's no there's no curving in and then back out, which wouldn't make it an S strap, but it would still make it for those who have slightly thicker or fatter necks. It is a fairly narrow neck here, so if you got a really fat neck, this might be a problem, and that's typically been a problem of mine. But we'll have to see once I get this out on the trail, if that's actually a problem or not. Just in the few minutes that I wore it after I loaded it up, there wasn't any pinching on my neck, but again, not out on the trail. Coming down, there are the standard little straps here for your water tube or whatever you want to put in there. There are no daisy chains on here. That's one difference from most other backpacks out there these days. They like putting daisy chains on here. There are none. The sternum strap is on these, these new all the rave, especially in the running world, these sliders here. See those a lot on the ultra running backpacks these days. And let's see, the bottom of the shoulder strap comes down to the tie off right there and just loops around there. The hip belts are more of a 1/3 length. Some of you might know what I mean by that. They don't come all the way, the padding itself doesn't come all the way around your hip. And in many ways, for some people, it's not even going to come halfway around your hips. So I'm calling it like a 1/3 length hip belt with a very, very long strap. This piece right here is plastic. I don't know if it's going to look metallic or not, but it is a plastic piece of hardware. And then the connector is this kind of a newer style where it's more of a V-clip than anything else. I don't know the technical name for those. It is a mesh pocket, and I know not everybody's a fan of mesh pockets, but it is what it is. And they're pretty deep. I put a couple of bars in here. They fit just fine. Because the hip belt is so far back, it's something that I would not be able to easily get into and out of. But that's a problem with almost every backpack I have, because my ability to reach back and grab stuff is limited. So the way that I'm not gonna show how it works because Vargo already has a video on that, but this particular panel here, this entire thing is actually able to move up and down, and that is how you get the torso length adjusted for you. And if I remember right, it's something like 16 inches to 22 inches. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what the torso adjustment is for this particular backpack. The lumbar pad is actually really good, better than on the TI Arc, and that had a pretty good lumbar pad, but they actually molded this one out a little bit further, at least it seems to be, and you can definitely feel it. It's probably the most obvious lumbar pad of any backpack I think I've ever used. I don't think I've ever had a backpack with this prominent of a lumbar pad. In regards to how the backpack feels, again, I haven't put a lot of weight in it. It's, it's maybe 4 or 5 pounds of weight max at this point. So it's not like I've put 20, 30 pounds in it because I just got it. But, you hike as much as I do and you use enough backpacks as I do, and you can pretty much tell how a backpack is going to feel or not feel in regards to, the load weight distribution and all of that. And it seems to be pretty good. The old version, I had 62 pounds in that backpack on one hike, and it was not fun, but the frame itself was able to handle 62 pounds of weight. This backpack being designed differently and you know, the harness system being attached to it differently, and the more comfy padding. That's one of the things that they definitely did. Was one of the complaints that I had on the old version, is that they just weren't, the shoulder pads weren't comfy enough. They, you know, the padding was just not there. And I would still like to see these a little bit thicker, you know, but we'll see how it rides after time. But to be able to put, you know, a total pack weight of 20-25 pounds, maybe, you know, up to the 30-pound range in this backpack is going to be, don't even question it. It's going to be completely doable without any thought or hesitation at all. This is an external frame backpack, so it's going to be able to handle that load better than pretty much any other ultralight backpack on the market at this point in time. So why go with this one? Well, the obvious, load weight distribution. If you're somebody who really wants that weight to be distributed down onto your hips, then this is going to be a backpack for you. And real quick, the side pockets, I've been yabbering on here for way too long. This is just to show you the size of the pockets. MSR wind burner fits in there fairly well. If I didn't have my pack so stuffed, it would fit in there a little bit easier, but it does get down in there. And then to show you the height, sorry about that. That is a Vargo titanium bottle. It is taller than pretty much any water bottle out there. And it, you know, so your 1 liter bottle is going to fit in there fine. Will it fit two smart water bottles? I'm going to say maybe not. I don't have smart water bottles right now, so I couldn't put them in there. Otherwise I would have. Real quick, there was some folks wanting to know if the lid could come off, and the answer to that is yes. You would simply unsnap that and then remove the webbing from this part here. Unfortunately, there isn't a snap point right here. That would have been really sweet if they had put a snap in there. Sorry. If they would have put a snap in there, it would have been really sweet, but they didn't. But, you know, you can just pull this webbing out of the bottom part here, and the lid will come completely off. You'll have a little bit of webbing hanging down here, but there's so much webbing on here anyway, it doesn't matter. There are questions about the top. You know, was it a completely sealed top, or was it a roll top? It is not a roll top. It is a bungee style strap, and it's actually really interesting. They have this. When I first saw this, I was thinking this was a haul loop, and I was thinking to myself, wow, that's like the beefiest haul loop I've ever seen in my life. But why? That's really stupid, because why would you put a haul loop on a external frame backpack? You just pick it up like that. What this, it might be designed as a haul loop, but what it's actually designed for, I think, is a way to help you open the pack, because this thing here, it's not one of the push-in ones like we're usually familiar with. It's simply I can't do this with one hand. Hang on. Anyway, what I'm trying to show is it simply works by pulling this out and holding this. It pulls itself out, and then to tighten it up, you just do this, and it tightens itself back up. So yeah, can you get it all the way closed? No. You can get it pretty close. So, you know, anybody that's hiking just uses a trash bag, a compost bag inside, you know, to keep your important gear dry. So you're obviously going to be doing that with the same backpack. You know, but if you are worried about, you know, water getting in from the top, then, you know, just keep the lid on it. Maybe I will, I'm not going to do it right now and put it in this video, but I will within an article here in the future. I will actually take the lid off and put it onto a scale so we can see just how much the lid itself weighs, for anybody that's interested in that. I don't have a scale that I can actually put the entire backpack on, so we're just going to have to trust Vargo that their weight limits are accurate on that. Okay, that does cover everything that I wanted to talk about. So anyway, if anybody has any questions, I realize this is just our first, it's straight out of the box, so this is a very limited video. And I've been talking long enough, so I'm just going to end this. If anybody has any questions, by all means, ask away, and I will happily answer what I can. Understanding the fact that as of this point in time, I have 0 miles on this. This is just simply a walk around video to show you some of the aspects of the backpack itself.